Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're cutting straight into a specific piece of news about Bitcoin. We're looking at June 16, 2025.
Right. And the idea isn't a massive overview, but really zeroing in using just this one source you've got there.
Exactly. What are the key things this specific material is telling us? That's the goal today. Quick insights.
A focus snapshot based entirely on this information.
Okay. And the headline finding seems pretty clear right off the bat.
Yep.
Bitcoin's trading around a, let's say, notable price point.
A high one, yeah.
So we'll dig into what this source says about that price, the sort of market feeling it describes, and what it thinks is driving things.
And why this view, this particular snapshot, might be relevant.
So jumping right in.
Yeah.
What stands out first about this price level?
Well, what's striking, according to this source, is Bitcoin showing resilience around the $110,500 level.
Okay, resilience.
Yeah, it notes that, over the last 24 hours, the price has pretty much held steady there. Minor fluctuations, sure, but staying near those recent highs.
So not just a quick peak, but actually demonstrating some staying power up there. That feels significant, doesn't it, as the source kind of points out?
It does seem to frame it that way, yes. Sticking power.
Building on that, then, how does this material describe the mood, the market sentiment right now?
It's described as distinctly positive. It actually uses the phrase bullish sentiment among investors.
Bullish, okay.
Suggesting, a general expectation that things might keep moving upwards tied to what it's seeing right now.
Right, so you've got the price holding firm near $110,500, and the source notes this bullish feeling. So the million-dollar question, or maybe the $110,500 question, why?
Right.
What does this source pinpoint as the key reasons behind that price strength and that positive mood?
Well, this particular source points quite clearly to two main things: ongoing institutional interest and broader adoption trends.
The usual suspects, maybe, but framed as the drivers here.
Exactly. It presents the current situation, the price holding, the bullishness, as being, well, fueled by this continued institutional money coming in and just Bitcoin being used more widely.
So the source is drawing a direct line.
Mm-hmm.
These drivers lead to this market state. Does it add any caveats, any other nuances we should be aware of based on this text?
Yes, it does. Importantly, it includes a note about volatility.
Okay.
Even with these positive signs, it serves as a reminder that, big price swings are still part of the Bitcoin picture. That hasn't gone away.
Right, a necessary reality check, even in an optimistic report.
Okay.
So let's try and pull that together just based on this one source we're looking at.
Okay.
We see Bitcoin showing resilience near $110,500.
Check.
The source identifies a distinctly positive or bullish market sentiment.
Yep, bullish sentiment.
And it pins these directly on institutional interest and wider adoption trends.
While also noting that underlying volatility is, well, still there.
Exactly. So these specific points from this source give us a very particular lens on this moment. Right? It's suggesting these are the defining factors according to its view.
It's a focused perspective, yes. High price holding, investor confidence, and what this source sees as the reasons why.
So this brings up an interesting thought, and this is just based on what we've discussed from this single source.
Yep.
Something for you, the listener, to consider. Given that this source highlights both this strong price resilience near a high point and persistent volatility, alongside those drivers like institutions and adoption, what does that specific combination suggest about the Bitcoin market's character right now, just based on this snapshot? How might that sort of tension, the stability at a high level versus the ongoing swings, how might that play out according to this view? Anyway.
Interplay, yeah. Definitely something to chew on.
Something to ponder. And with that thought, we'll wrap up this deep dive into today's source material.